What's going on, everyone? I kind of darkened the image a little bit. I turned the ISO down, the exposure down a little bit. Let me know if you guys like it. I kind of like the darkness of it, but if you guys want it to be a little lighter, let me know in the comment section below. But I want to show you guys what's going on and what's basically on my iPhone 10 right now. This is for November. I do one every single month. And before I even get to what's on my phone or what's like the apps I'm using, the case that I'm currently using is the iPhone, is the regular Apple silicone case. I usually keep $10 in the back of my case. And this case has been pretty solid. I mean, I really don't have any problems with it. I have started to think though that I kind of want to get a smaller case, but this case has held up very well. A lot of people thought like the bottom of it, because like it kind of doesn't cover too much of it, they think drops and stuff like that will pretty much damage the phone, but it really doesn't. I like it a lot. And this is actually a magnetic strip. What this does is like I have a little magnet thing in my car. I just basically put this on it and it's pretty much good to go there, so I won't really have to worry about it. And I don't have to like physically stick something on or have like a weird like little grip thing that I have to put on. So I would really recommend this and the silicone case if you have an iPhone 10. I'll leave both of these linked down in the description below, so you guys can check that out. And I also have a glass screen protector on the front of my iPhone as well. I just kind of, this one, every single glass screen protector I've ever had sucks. Like right there, if you can see, I always somehow find gaps. Like I'll put it on perfectly and everything, then randomly just gaps will come on, and it just annoys me so much. I don't really know what to do about it. I mean, it happens every single time. I have to rip my screen protector off and put in a new one. It's just super annoying, but I don't really think there's a way to fix that. Also leave a link to the wallpaper that I'm using in the description below. I honestly don't even like this wallpaper that much. I just changed it because I had to change it for another video that I was doing, and then I couldn't even find that last wallpaper I used. So I'll link this one down in the description below. But going through the top, this is going to be a quick one, I think, probably not. Basically, my layout has been pretty much consistent. A lot of things do change in the background here and there. I want to show you the widgets I'm using right now. I did put the screen time widget or the activity widget back up. I think the last one I didn't have it on, but I used my battery one up top. I used to have the Siri shortcuts widget here. I really don't use it that often anymore, so that's pretty much where I'm at. I use the battery thing. I like it a lot. It shows me things like my AirPods battery health, my watch, so things like that really help out. Then I have my activity right here. I honestly haven't even worked out in like 4 or 5 days, so I gotta get back on it. But also my screen time, and the widget still has a little bug, and I'm on iOS 12.1, the latest version, and it still has like some screen time bug where like the text goes behind the thing, so that's pretty funny. I already made a video about it, and I always talk about it in my iOS reviews, but I really don't know why that is the case there. But going through the apps that I actually use, before I even go there, let me show you the control center. So this is pretty much where it's at. I always have my Bluetooth Wi-Fi on, and I always have my AirDrop on as well. I have my personal hotspot on, so I gotta turn that off. And make sure you guys check that too. If you have your personal hotspot on, sometimes that might drain out battery. But these are the widgets I have down here, the little like things, the little blocks. I have my flashlight, my screen record, my calculator, and low power mode. I use low power mode every once in a while, but I usually use the flashlight just because I can force touch into it and kind of like, change things out like that. But you can also do that from the home screen as well. If you click here, you force touch into it, but you can't really change the like brightness of it, I don't think. But that's basically the housekeeping stuff. So going through the top, Google Maps is my maps of choice. I say this every time. What really sucks is though, if somebody iMessages you like an address or something, sometimes you can't open it through iMessage. You have to copy the address and put it through there, which sounds like a first world problem or whatever. But when you click on the address in iMessage, it actually just tells you and recommends you to open it up in Maps, and you have to re-download it. But I like Google Maps. I'm probably going to switch to Waze though. I like it a lot more from what I've heard. People recommended it to me, so I'll probably end up switching to Waze. Reminders, I use a lot of Apple stock apps, so like Reminders, Notes, Calendar. I only use those things. I don't use like Evernote or Google Reminders or Google Calendar or whatever. I always use Apple stock apps just because it syncs very, very well with my MacBook right here. So it's just like so much easier for me. Voice memos as well. Now I haven't updated to macOS Mojave, but one thing I really like is that apparently voice memos does sync up with your MacBook. So I really am probably going to upgrade soon on my MacBook because I use voice memos all the time. Sometimes if I have like a music idea or something, I just sing it or hum it in voice memos. It sounds really creepy. If I open it, it'll just have like, you can even see it. There's like a bunch of recordings of just me like humming and singing it, like sound like a crazy person, but I end up using that and end up making beats out of it. So that is what it is. Gmail is my map client of choice. I use Clock, but dude, one thing about this is that I don't know why my volume is set all the way high. Like my ringer and switch, I know the actual volume, but my ringer switch is set high. But every time, like my alarm is so low, so I don't really know what's going on there. So I'll have to fix that. But that's really weird. But Clock is obviously the alarm choice. App Store settings, camera is set right there. Notes, calendar, I already talk about this. In this folder called Folder, I have Amazon and eBay. These are my two things of choice. Now, I use Amazon for mostly stuff that I need brand new, like if I need like a case or these Rubik's Cubes or whatever, I usually get on Amazon. But for most of my electronics that I buy, like my iPhones, my MacBooks, the Wii in the back, things like that, the game systems that I own, I usually use eBay just because I can get them for so much cheaper, and it just makes way more sense because Amazon, you can only do new things basically. But if I wanted to buy something like this Game Boy Advance, I would have to buy it through eBay just because I can't buy it on Amazon, if that makes any sense. I'm sure all you guys know how eBay and Amazon work at this point. Music, I don't have actually any music on this phone, and I used to, but this is the 64GB variant. I still need to upgrade to the 256 one. This is the iPhone 10, by the way. Telling myself every month I'm about to do it, but there's really no point. I haven't really ran out of like photos or memory yet, so I will probably end up moving the music somewhere else. Just because, like I said, I don't use the music on here anymore. I used to do it on my 7 Plus when I had that, but I don't really listen to music offline anymore. Microsoft Outlook, I use this a lot for my school email. So all those emails that I get, I usually go through there, obviously. I put YouTube on the front page. I use YouTube every single day, obviously. I love it so much. Activity I put on the front page, but I haven't really been active recently. And then I use Spotify. I listen to Spotify all the time, and I only use that. I usually don't use SoundCloud anymore, which is bad to say because all my songs are on SoundCloud. So if you don't know, I put music on SoundCloud, links in the description. On the bottom, I have phone, messages, and Safari. Safari is my web browser of choice. I like it. I don't love it. It's still kind of buggy here and there, especially when I load up my website, flawlessphone.com. On every single device I tested, it seems like it always loads up faster on Chrome, but Safari is just something I'm used to, and it is pretty decent on battery life too, so I mean, it is what it is. Now, going to the second page, these are apps that I used to say I don't use all the time, but honestly, I use some of these probably more than I do on the front page. Now, the top ones are pretty much the ones I use the most often. FaceTime. I FaceTime people all the time. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Honestly, if I had to choose between one of those three, I'd probably choose Twitter. I love Twitter so much. Snapchat I use way less, and Instagram I use a little bit more, but still I like Twitter a lot more. I have calculator photos right there. In this folder called Finance, I have my credit card and stuff like that, so all those informations, Venmo. I have the weather app there so I can see the weather and whether I need to get fitted and dress up or dress down or whatever. GroupMe, I never use. I hate GroupMe. I feel like Android should get iMessage. I don't know why Apple is, making it so restricted, but it's whatever. I don't really like using other apps for text communications besides like Snapchat or something. YouTube Studio, greatest app ever. I use it like 40 times a day. It allows you to edit videos and stuff. If you're a YouTuber, I would definitely recommend you using that just because it allows you to see the stats and edit videos, edit the text of videos. You can't actually edit videos in it, but it's very, very cool, and I really like it. Google Photos is really awesome too. It allows you to basically sync up all your photos to the cloud, to the Google's cloud, and it's unlimited storage. It's absolutely free, and it's just like an ease of mind basically. So I have it on here. I was syncing up photos earlier today too, and I would really recommend it. I like Google Photos a lot. PayPal is, obviously PayPal. Balloons Tower Defense, this is the only app I've ever bought. I used to get it for free through Tweakbox, but then they kept unauthorizing it or untrusting it, and I had to keep restarting, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna spend, I think it was like $3. I'm just gonna spend it. And ever since I bought it, I never played it. I used to play it for like a year and a half straight, but then after I bought it, I never played it, which really sucks because it's such a good game, but it is what it is. Tweakbox, this is where I get things like plus Snapchat, plus things like that, a lot of emulators too. In this folder called Games, I have the Snake Balls and whatever in the Measure app. I don't know why that's the case. I don't really use either of those. I have MyFitnessPal. I like MyFitnessPal. I just haven't used it that often. I have a lot of games folders for some reason. I don't really play games that often. Here's just like a couple more games. So here's my main one. So Facebook, this is like when I'm doing speed tests. I usually have these games on other phones too. So I just put them in a folder. I never play these, but I use them for the speed test that I do. So it's like I have to kind of have them on my phone all the time, and I don't want them taking up. So I might move this over. And this is TikTok. I know it's a meme to death. I know all that stuff, but I don't know why. It's just, I love going through it and seeing all the cringiness out of it. It makes me feel a lot better about myself. But there's sometimes some people do some really funny things. Now, I would show you, but I don't want to get a copyright strike from them. So we're just going to go to the next page. In this folder called Travel, I have Lyft and Uber. Basic stuff. This page is stuff that I don't use that often. I used to have Robinhood on my front page right here, but I haven't used it that often. And I don't even remember my credentials. So there's no point in having it on the front page if I don't use it that often. In this folder called Health, I have the Books app. In this folder called Folder, I have the Chick-fil-A app. In this folder called Extras, I have the extra stuff. In this folder called Business, I have Zip Archiver. I don't know why. I have all these random names. Apple just kind of recommends names to you and you just kind of go with it. So it's funny, those things are like that. Podcast, Watch app. I don't use those that often. Podcast app, I want to start using more because I want to start listening to more podcasts and stuff, but I honestly, I just get bored out of it, to be honest. Photo and video is PixArt. I used to use PixArt all the time, but then I got Photoshop, so it's whatever. But if you have a phone and you want to get Photoshop kind of things on your phone, I'd really recommend it. I did a lot of fun stuff with it. Gboard is my keyboard of choice. I like it a lot. I love it. It's 300 times better than the stock keyboard in a lot of ways, but in some ways the stock keyboard is also better. If you like that swipe functionality of being able to swipe and type at the same time, I love that. I used to do it on Android, and the fact that iPhones have it is like 300 times better. Quick Notes allows you to kind of sync up notes with your Apple Watch. So if you're on the go and you want to like read text on the way. So I had a bunch of stuff that I would like study on the way to like an exam or something. So really helpful. Mail app, I don't use that often. WhatsApp, I don't use that often. Goat, it allows you to like buy and sell sneakers. I bought Yeezys one time and I just never wore them. I was planning on selling them, but I don't really care that much right now. The Files app, Coinbase is Bitcoin when that was a thing. People still buy and sell Bitcoin. I don't really do it that much, but I like to see how it's going every once in a while, so I keep it on here. Now, Google Photos is probably the one Google app that I use the most, but these are ones that I want to use more, but I don't use that often. Google Sheets and Google Docs. If I have like a group project or something, I use Google Docs, but I use Google Sheets to kind of, mess around a little bit, but not that often. Google Drive, if the only times I use it now is like when I make music and beats, I put them on Google Drive so I can listen to them on the way, just so I don't have to freaking like plug in my phone to iTunes every single time. And then there's some other things, Wallet, Antutu benchmarking app, TextFree and Robinhood. Like I said, Robinhood used to be my front page, but I don't use it there anymore. Now, these are apps that I pretty much only use for speed comparison purposes, so I don't use these ever. I don't even mess with them. I totally forget they're even on my phone, but when I'm doing, especially when I did the iPhone XR comparisons and the speed tests and all that, I use a lot of these apps. So if you guys want to, you can look at them, but I don't use these. Even Netflix, I don't even use that often, but that is pretty much it. That's pretty much what's on my phone. Like I said, links to everything that I said in the description below. The case, the screen protector probably, the wallpaper link will also be down in the description. So that's pretty much it. Again, this is the 64 gig version, so I don't have a lot. I only have like a couple apps, like I said, and some photos here and there. I don't have any music, so it doesn't really take up that much space here. But if you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much. But definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the links in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those things are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.